Hello and welcome to twitch.tv/Hive Esports Games for the final week of the league phase, week 6 here of the Hive Esports League. Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, I am seeing
That's
that.
okay. We'll just ignore that. Of the Hive Esports League of Legends series, our Aram Mayhem 2v2 tournament that has currently reached just past its halfway stage. As you mentioned, it's the final week of the league phase. As you can see on your left-hand side, a somewhat abridged schedule for tonight. Unfortunately, Team Ultimus couldn't make it for Game 2. But Game 1 will still go ahead. Nat and Joe will take on the Yowie Addicts as Nat and Joe vie for that final playoff spot, currently occupied by Sveti Vizhesini as a result of forfeit. Of course, this is all provisional. Still, things can change. Very, very unique circumstances today. So we will wait and see exactly what comes of it, and we'll tell you who's in the playoffs before too long. But there's still only one spot left. The top 3 in the leaderboard right now, they are safe. So we've not got long because, as you can probably tell, we're half an hour behind schedule. So we'll get some quick predictions in and then jump straight in. So Nat and Joe versus Yowie Addicts. George, who have you got?
Oh, well, honestly, I would like to say Nat and Joe have got this. They've had a little bit of a long day, so I'm gonna give them that little bit of confidence boost. But Yowie Addicts also probably had a bit of a long day as well. So honestly, good luck to both teams. I just want a fun, whimsical day to this stressful period.
Yeah, it's been a long, long half an hour trying to get this thing going. Hopefully, we're going to have some fun gameplay to show you to make up for it. We're going to jump in right about now. It's game 1 of 1, unfortunately, today, not of 2. Nat and Joe versus Yowie Addicts will be starting up momentarily. I think I'm just going to go the opposite end. I'm going to say Yowie Addicts going to take the win, just to be contrarian. But yeah, hopefully both teams just have fun.
Yeah, we're all about whimsy on Hive Esports. It's our favourite word since week 4 or something like that, since it just came out of nowhere. Which actually, unironically, ever since I started saying whimsy, I've been seeing whimsy everywhere.
Yeah.
Just starts popping up. Everyone started saying whimsy. I think I might be a trendsetter.
I think it might be.
I think I might be as well. Everyone's going to be doing the bee thing soon. Or actually,
Yeah,
I think everyone's already done the bee thing. I think we're late to this one.
that's okay. We did it better than everybody else.
True, we did. We did.
So we're going to be jumping in, hopefully just about now, if we can get things going here between Nat and Joe and the Yowie Addicts. That's 2nd versus 5th in the league. We're jumping in now. So it is going to be Slim Casey and Newt Silver in the blue. And Yowie Addicts in the red. That will be Extra Thick and Yowie Addict himself. And, well, I immediately... Oh, what's his name? Heimerdinger. Is that his name?
Heimerdinger, yes
Extra Thick.
indeed.
I identified a champion. I'm very proud of myself. He was very, very strong last time we saw Heimerdinger be played. It was Heimerdinger Rumble, if I remember correctly. It was a killer combination. I think that was actually Yowie Addicts, now that I think about it, who were the beneficiaries of that. But what other champions are we seeing on the field, and what potentially could we see out of this?
Well, just a quick note. Unfortunately, I did select a regular ARAM, so this is not Aram Mayhem. However, it's still ARAM, so it's the same thing, I promise. Yes, correctly identified that Heimerdinger there, as we saw last week, a few weeks ago, I can't remember. And then also that Xayah, the Yowie Addict on Xayah, the Xayah that we love so much. We have a short pause here, but I don't think it's going to last very long. I think it's just a little bit of bugging. But yes, Yowie Addict on Xayah, my favourite character, as I exclaimed last week.
Yes.
Newt Silver here on Syndra, she's the one with the floating blue balls, and Slim Casey on Xerath. A very heavy AP team on the blue side here, lots of range, but again, very bursty. But Extra Thick and Yowie Addict aren't going to have the resistances, as they are both sort of squishy champions. But both teams, very high damage, so yeah.
Aggression could well be the name of the game here then, with high rates of damage from both teams here. And of course, they do have to be aggressive. They are fighting at least in Nat and Joe's case, for that final playoff spot. Yowie Addicts have nothing to worry about. However, there is still much to play for Yowie Addicts. If they win this game, they will go top of the league phase, and that will give them a beneficial draw for the semi-finals next week and beyond. So it is important that they get this done. So there's still an incentive to give it 110% here against Nat and Joe. So this should be a titanic clash here. But right now, as has not necessarily been a theme every game, but it hasn't. It's sometimes been like this, where very, very quiet start to proceedings. It's been 3 minutes, still 0-0 on the kill board, and I think people just taking their time.
Yes, indeed. Just having a silly whimsy game. Unfortunately, again, not Aram Mayhem, but the contestants are a little bit confused. That's my bad. I'm so sorry. Today has been a little bit of a long day. It's okay. It's it's about the friends we made along the way.
Something like that.
It's about the friends we've made along the way. Yes.
So scuff so many pity points.
Yes.
Nat and Joe are going to win the league phase on pity points.
And ironically, as we see there, a little bit of Heimerdinger action, giving a little bit of a flash there while his ult, but giving a little jiggy and not actually using it. Now, that's the type of whimsy I like to see in this very stressful, silly game. But Yowie Addict getting double stunned under the turret there and proccing that barrier, but ulting away from that Xerath ult, but is just skinny enough to dodge the Xerath ults, but there's one left and he gets hit by it.
Saw that red circle underneath Yowie Addict and it was game over. So 2-0 to Nat and Joe to kick things off here. However, Heimerdinger is going to get a pick there on Newt Silver, make it 2-1 and just stop that pressure. But Slim Casey trying now to take out Extra Thick, who is resisting on just a little sliver of health, and Slim Casey does get the pick there on Extra Thick as Heimerdinger 3-1 now. It's going to be a straight 1v1, but Newt Silver should be entering the fray momentarily. There she is. Yowie Addict now gets stunned in a 2v1 situation, has to retreat, waiting for Extra Thick, does get sniped there. Down to about 60% of the max HP. So Newt Silver and Slim Casey with an early lead here in terms of kills. No turrets taken out as of yet, but showing that they're not afraid to team fight as a double stun for Nat and Joe. Brilliantly done there. Going to take out Yowie Addict there. And Heimerdinger now has to try and 2v1. Does get the pick on Slim Casey and is actually doing some good damage to Newt Silver, but I think Newt Silver does get CC'd. Double kill. Huge double pick. Team wipe for Extra Thick as Heimerdinger. And that is going to give Yowie Addicts a much needed break there to try and relieve some of that pressure that blue team were putting on them.
Yeah, that was quite goofy, actually. I really enjoyed watching that. As we saw that Heimerdinger pop the ult and place that big turret, which was outputting just enough damage. And for a moment, it looked like Heimerdinger was going to win. But then that turret died, and then Syndra let out a little bit of burst damage. But then Syndra had no abilities left. And then Heimerdinger almost won. And then Heimerdinger almost lost. And then, yeah.
Many swings and roundabouts between those two, as we saw Yowie Addict unfortunately get 2v1 there. Stunned, airborne, stunned, just not allowed to play the video game. And 6-3 now is the kill score and Extra Thick, as a little old Heimerdinger now finds himself in a spot of bother. But here comes Yowie Addict again, airborne, stunned immediately. You may as well unplug your keyboard. You're not playing the game, son. Down to 50% there. The turret as well has taken some chip damage here. Newt Silver as well, down fairly low, might have to be a bit more calculated in her approach to combat here. But 6-3, neither of these teams shying away from aggression as they fight for, I suppose, their respective objectives here. Obviously, Yowie Addicts, they're safe, but they've still got a lot to play for.
Yeah, as we saw, Extra Thick going in for that flash there. Got the turret out in time, but unfortunately a little bit of mispositioning there. Just wasn't able to hit the Newt Silver. But Yowie Addict skinnying both of those stuns. Unable to get that kill on the Newt Silver, but the Syndra ult just clipping the Xayah before she could get another auto attack off. Yeah, a very skinny play there, though. The Zaya flashing away from all of those balls could never be me.
As we see, blue team, Nat and Joe do take out that first turret. Nutsilver very, very low on health, but 1-0 now is the score on the turret. It's crucial there for Nat and Joe. Yowie Addict and Extra Thick are going to be looking to reapply that pressure, though, try and take things back the other direction, try and even things up here. They've not been winning their team fights, though. Nutsilver and Slim Casey have had the measure of them. They've been doubling up really, really well on both Extra Thick and Yowie Addict, and it's happening again here. Extra Thick dealt a lot of damage there. Yowie Addict trying to get some heals off, but 9-3. Now Yowie Addict really in a spot of bother here as Zaya. Again, huge damage from Slim Casey, popping off here. Levels up as well to level 13, only level 10 there for Yowie Addict as Zaya there. So, and now that second turret coming under fire, stunned, another ace for Slim Casey, doing absolute work here against the Yowie Addicts, recovering, and it is now 10-3 to Nat and Joe. Extra Thick immediately stunned on respawn and is wiped out immediately. 11-3 now, as Heimerdinger's turret does take out Nutsilver to make it 11-4. But Slim Casey still just trying to take out that turret, gets it down to half, is eventually picked off by Yowie Addict here as Zaya. But that it was a brilliant chain of plays there from Nat and Joe. This might be the best performance we've seen from them so far. They are putting it to Yowie Addict big time.
Yeah, definitely thriving in the chaos of this. But yeah, unfortunately, when they come back from that portal, the Yowie Addicts really have to watch where they're placing themselves, because they could run into a Xerath stun, or they could run into a Syndra stun. And after that, it's just an onslaught of damage, which, as we've seen, either instantly gets them or chunks them quite significantly. Even while playing from range here, Yowie Addict is sustaining quite a bit of damage from those Xerath pokes. And Extra Thick is going to get caught off guard by a Syndra Ball, gets stunned, and the turret, unfortunately, is not going to do enough damage.
Yeah, that turret, sort of a last memento there from Heimerdinger, does chip damage at best to Nutsilver and to Slim Casey there. But again, just doubling up beautifully and maximum damage output against rather squishy champions, not able to really sort of tank the attacks that most other champions, I think, would be able to. So see Zaya now retreating behind that second turret that will surely be coming under fire now. Heimerdinger, though, does come back in, immediately jumps on Nutsilver there as Syndra, and is almost going to get the pick, but Nutsilver takes out Yowie Addict, and they're now going to be doubling up against Heimerdinger here. Extra Thick down very, very low, and that will almost be a pick, losing health rapidly, and it's another ace for blue team here, 14-5. They have shown themselves to be so prolific in combat here. Yowie Addicts unable to make so much as a dent in blue team's progress here, or in any of their territory. They take out the first two turrets. They're halfway through the inhibitor as well. It's immediate CC again. Yowie Addict, I've never seen a health bar disappear that quickly. 15-5 now, and immediately back to targeting the inhibitor. Is there anything that Yowie Addicts can even do here?
Dance, submit, just enjoy what little time they have left. Bless their gottens. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much they can do, just because of the amount of range that the Nat and Joe team have. As we can see, those Xerath hitting those skill shots from miles away, and Syndra also being able to launch those balls quite far, which both damage and stun if she can hit them with her E. And unfortunately, both Heimerdinger and Zaya are fairly short-range characters. And, oh, incredible flash Q there from Xerath, just clipping the Heimerdinger, who got stunned immediately by Syndra there. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Another very easy team wipe there. 17-5 may well be the final score here as one turret goes down, followed by the next here. I don't think Yowie Addicts are going to respawn in time, and this will be a dominant match one display here from Newt Silver and Slim Casey. Extra Thick is going to come in, as well as Yowie Addict right at the end. One last stand here, and they will shut down Newt Silver. They're going to chase Slim Casey out of town here as one last stand, and they do get the pick against Slim Casey 17-7, but that final Nexus is already down to half health here, and Extra Thick is at risk of being taken out here just by the minions, has to keep his distance. And they will eventually get rid of that minion army. But so low on health after that fight, even while getting a sneak attack on Nat and Joe, you'd have to think that Newt Silver and Slim Casey, they're going to be in prime position to take this once they respawn.
Yeah, it would be really cool and definitely whimsical if they made a comeback off of this. But yeah, like you mentioned, that Heimerdinger is on 2 health. And that Syndra is coming back, who's going to almost immediately take that Heimerdinger out. And that Xayah is going to be under 5 from both Syndra and that Xerath. And they're going to push this wave into the Nexus.
47 cruise missiles just landed on that Xayah. That's really unfortunate. 19-7 is going to be the final score. That's going to be a new record for most kills by one team in a game.
Strike it from the records. This is a scuffed game.
Very scuffed game. The history books may well put an asterisk to it, but there is no denying the dominance put on here by Newt Silver and Slim Casey. They take match 1 here. 19 kills to 7. 5-0 on the turrets. Domination, you'd have to say.
Yeah, definitely thriving in that chaos, and really unfortunate for the Yowie Addicts, but still, I think they played as well as they could. But even so, I think the champions were a little bit more in the favor of Nat and Joe for that fight, just as Xayah and Heimerdinger are both fairly short-ranged people, and we have some very aesthetic music. Oh, it's gone.
We absolutely do.
Should we have a little bit of a podcast just for time?
Let's have a podcast.
Let's have a little bit of a podcast.
What could go more wrong? Not a
Nothing.
lot.
That's okay, because
May
that was the one game we were playing. That was the Omen. It's gone. Nothing bad can happen after this, okay? Nothing bad is... We're just out that window. There's a window behind me. Evil, be gone. But yeah, I'm going to take this time to ask everyone how their Easter was. I hope you all had an amazing Easter if you celebrate it. That's awesome. I support you, I think.
You think? You think you support them?
I think. I got absolutely kirked by my hair clip. I was playing with it and it shot a spring at my neck. Glad to be alive.
Sources tell me George is stable. Please, God.
Oh my God. No, please, no. Yeah. What's new with you?
Not a lot. I think this is what's new with me right now. This is the most eventful thing that's happened to me since we last streamed this series. I'm chilling. This is not a bad thing, by the way. I'm
That's
okay.
true. That's
But
true.
I'm just chilling.
Just chilling. No, that's good to hear.
And now we've
That's
decided
good to
we've made the
hear.
Hive Esports podcast just off the cuff.
The Hive Esports a
Kill some
short
time.
podcast, like a YouTube short.
Yeah, they'll clip this. Sigma
I hope
edits.
they don't. Sigma edits make this moment cool.
You know, like that former
this moment
CIA
awesome.
whistleblower guy.
me,
It's like,
me.
oh, is that you now?
That's me. I blow the
Yeah.
whistles of CIA agents
Yeah,
in a family-friendly PG way.
blowing CIA agents.
The whistles, because they carry whistles.
Do they?
They do now. They do
Okay.
now. I gave them to them. But yeah. On more important news, next week will be the first week of the semi-finals. That'll be week 7. And then we will have the second week, the week after next, will be the second semi-finals. And those games will decide which teams go into the finals. And then after that game, the week after the week after next, if you're still with me, that will be... No, that will be the finals. And then the week after the finals, which is the week after the next week of the next week, will be a fun 5v5 ARAM game, which
Yes, it
will
will.
be ARAM Mayhem. All of the games after this will be ARAM Mayhem. This was just a silly on my part.
Administrative error. It
This-
happens.
Do you know what happened? Because I was like, ARAM has random maps, right? And I was like, oh, let's enable the random maps so we have the cool maps. But you can't do Aram Mayhem and have the random maps for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's always at the same map,
yeah.
the same single lane map.
Yeah, because Aram Mayhem doesn't support random maps for whatever reason, which is silly, by the way. Riot, fix your client. I mean, Riot, we love you.
Who's
Love you,
we?
Riot. I love you, Riot, please. I love you, Riot.
I don't play Riot games, so this is. I've got nothing to do with Riot.
What the hell, dude? What the hell? But no, I hope you enjoyed our podcast. I hope you tolerated today's episode series. What is this? Stream tournament. And I'm gonna shut up now. So thank you from Hive Esports. Apologies again. And we'll see you next week. Anything else to say?
Same as usual, really. Obviously, thank you for watching wherever in the world you may be. Although you're probably just one of our friends, if we're going to be very real.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so very much for watching. Have a very safe evening. You'll catch every segment week of the Hive Esports League of Legends series here on twitch.tv/Hive Esports Games. You'll see it as well. We are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, where you'll see all updates related to